Weeksauce episode 9, of course, live in 3, 2, 1. Get ready to kick off your week with Weeksauce. And if you enjoy this show, find more podcasts like it over at amove.tv. Welcome back, everybody. It's time for another Weeksauce with me, Garrett and him, Kyle Ferguson. Happy Monday, Kyle.
Happy Monday, Garrett.
How's it going? How was your weekend?
It was good, man. I don't want to be a bummer. I don't want to be. I've got a story to tell.
Oh.
It's a story I haven't told yet.
Oh. Because
it just doesn't work on Twitter because it's frankly just in a static environment, kind of sad.
Dude, you're really setting this up. I have no idea what the hell you're about to say.
Well, I was enjoying the free-to-play City Skylines weekend, managing a bunch of traffic.
Oh, that game, man. It's really
when I wanted to go get a mirror for my violin so that I could see my bow being straight. Right now, my biggest struggle on the violin is that I can't keep the bow straight because I'm unpracticed, so I need to keep it straight up and down, and then as you move between the various strings, keeping that arm straight. That's what causes the squeaking, is it kind of wandering about.
Ah, okay.
So we go to Goodwill to get a mirror, and we're heading back, and a woman parked herself inside of our trunk at 50 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
At that point, I stopped playing City Skylines and managing traffic for the weekend and went and played Diablo 2. And we basically went on to comfort picks since then.
Wait. Hold on. No, you're getting way ahead of yourself. So someone rear-ended your car at 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Was your car parked? Were you in the car when this happened?
Yeah, we were waiting at a traffic light with two other people in front of us. It was uphill. There was no reason. She said
uphill?
Yeah, it was uphill.
50 miles an hour, rear-ended, uphill when you're sitting at a red light.
Yep, and she got out of the car saying, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I tried the brakes, they didn't work. I am aware they didn't work because there was a part where the car went and then sped up, and she apparently became so confused she slammed the gas upon seeing that she was approaching our vehicle and ran us into the two cars in front of us as well. So,
oh Lord, oh dude, I'm so freaking sorry to hear that.
It's tough to tell the story. It's tough to proclaim it because I don't want anyone feeling bad for us because it's a system. It's crazy. There's been so much stuff in my life that I've narrowly dodged anyway, that the fact that the police cars now have printers inside them, that's the fascinating part of the story to me. This is just inevitability. If I drive a car, every day I drive a car, I'm increasing the chances this is going to happen. The cool thing was that I did not have to get information from the other three people involved in this 4-car pileup because the cop just collected it all and then printed us all out copies. It was incredible. And then the system with the insurance and everything, it was a feat of I hate the word adulting, but it was so streamlined. I'm still impressed. And
wow.
And in fact, because I was the driver and I heard the behind us, I tensed. I'm the one with all the pain, and I'm going to be going and getting checked out. Kristen got checked for a concussion on the scene because she was not, in the driver's seat. She was not tense, so she was thrown wildly like a crash test dummy. But because of the fluidity, as they say, of the moment, she received less pain in the long run.
Oh my God, man! Were you seriously just about to move past this and talk about playing City Skylines? Because I'm like, Jesus, man, this is nuts. This is the first time I'm hearing this. We usually keep in touch when weird shit like this happens, and I hadn't heard from you. I'm very glad you're okay. So you guys have you had a Honda Accord, right?
A Chevy Impala.
Oh, Chevy. Okay, an Impala. I knew it was a four-door sedan. I couldn't remember which one. All right, so I'm assuming the speed at which that car hit you, it's totaled, right? Probably.
We'll see. Yeah, the inspector shows up Wednesday to take a look at the lot. It was towed off. We were in our neighborhood, so we simply walked home. But it was one of those. Yeah, it's sad because it's my grandpa's car that he gave to me before he passed, and it's the Fergmobile, and it's got a very special place. So I hope it can be revived. It's certainly sad that this lady was a time bomb of trouble in a sense, as often they are. They get out of the car and they immediately start telling you everything wrong with their life, and you're just like, I'm trying to take care of my own. Do you need medical assistance? You're doing the right thing of not saying. It's so weird, but what I was always informed of is don't ask people if they're okay. You can't get statements that early on. So we're doing the whole, do you need medical assistance? Making sure everything's okay. But she's just, oh my God, I hit the brake. Oh my God, this is all my fault. This is all my fault. And I'm just letting her go, And we didn't even have to tell the cop anything because she was more than happy to self-incriminate. So she had insurance too, which is great. And everyone in the lineup had insurance except for the car in front of me because it was government owned. So she slammed into me and slammed me into a government owned vehicle. So everything is going my way, if you will, in the situation. It's just patience.
Did you get a ticket for hitting the car in front of you? Because my cousin was recently rear-ended, and his car hit the car in front of him, and he got a ticket because he was stopped too close to the car in front of him.
Weird.
Yeah.
I think when your trunk is open and the other person is parked inside you.
There's enough. Okay, they call into question what distance would have been great enough.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough.
I had it wasn't the full car length. It was one of those 4-feeder situations, but it was a 35 residential hill, and no one expects to travel so fast in such a direction.
When you're stopped on upwards a hill. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. At that point, gravity is trying to help you out. My God. Well, I'm really glad you're okay, and I guess props to Chevy for making a sedan that can get plowed into the back of at 50 miles an hour and
dude, the crumple zone, man, brand loyalty is what that is. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be buying nothing but Chevys for the rest of my life. I had a front sort of end up under a truck situation in my because we were doing one of those double turn lanes, and I thought they weren't a turn lane, so I kind of turned wide and went under them when I was 16. That was pretty casual, and I like Subarus a lot, but I don't know if it would have saved my life in this situation.
Fair enough. They've got a pretty good track record too. Oh man, well you clearly have earned your comfort video game sessions.
Yeah, I did stop City Skylines after that, though. I didn't really feel like managing traffic anymore.
I could see that. See that.
Fun, though. Fun game. It's great that the zoning feature in City Skylines, if you haven't played it, is really fresh and means you don't have to, build restaurants for people, which is nice.
Yeah, that game... God, you're making me go back because, dude, that game came out, not that far after that god-awful SimCity that EA put out. Just the worst piece of crap ever that I was extremely excited for, purchased, and went through the trouble of dealing with Origin to play. And it God, I remember when it came out thinking, boy, perfect timing for these guys. SimCity just crapped the bed, and here comes City Skylines with what I think is the best city building game ever made. And it clearly, whatever. Its timing is whatever, right? Because there's no way that they've turned that game around. It's not like SimCity came out and they're like, oh, this game's bad. We should do something. We should make our own. Clearly it was in development at the same time.
Totally, like your Dead Island and... Last of Us, and you always hear the story that Dead Island comes out with a slow motion trailer and the family running through the house and diving out the glass, and they're like, "Oh crap, an emotional zombie game! It's okay, it sucks, it's all right." Nobody's enjoying that thing.
Yeah, well, actually, I've heard good things about the original Dead Island, but it's just that it like the game had nothing to do with that trailer at all.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it was more like it was a grind. It was one of those sort of MMOE, you will miss your melee attacks if you're not leveled up kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I've heard it's fun. I haven't played it because Last of Us came out, and I wanted a narrative.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh man, City Skylines, you're making me want to play. So, well, that's interesting. Well, this may color one of the topics I wanted to bring up, which was Valentine's Day is this week, Kyle.
It is.
It is. I was curious. We haven't really talked to each other about Valentine's in a very long time. What do you guys usually do for the Valentines?
We work usually. Gosh, it's been a long. We met in college, so we used to do lots of big things back then, and particularly, rather negligent of parental money, which involved in the dates when you're in college. So things slowed down after graduation, and things got less fantastic. And actually, this week I'm on Brawl with the Blues anyway on Wednesday for Valentine's Day. So a big chunk of it is gone. We don't have an automobile anymore. We were going to actually go see one of the most hipster things you could possibly do in the Seattle area. Go to your friend's trapeze show in downtown Seattle.
You have a friend who is a trapeze artist?
Yes.
Okay.
And a friend who does the lighting. They're a couple for the trapeze show.
All right. I mean, I probably shouldn't raise my eyebrow too hard considering we have an actual circus school here locally.
You can get trained to trapeze. I don't know what you go on to do. You got Cirque du Soleil, but that's probably your parents saying, "Oh, you like making movies in the house? Why don't you get an agent?" And I'm like, "Oh, you're aiming for Cirque du Soleil?" They're like, "Shut the hell up! There's cruise boats and there's all sorts of crap."
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's not something I've ever looked into.
But we'll probably take it pretty easy. Continue the comfort picks and whatnot.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, we usually avoid going out on Valentine's itself, and if we're gonna do something, we'll do it before or after whatever the weekend kind of ends up being. Although it's fallen on a Wednesday. For some reason, I thought it was Thursday, so I was expecting to just be into the Nexusing. But turns out it's Wednesday. So I think Katie and I will do what we used to do back in high school and college when we first dated, which is rent the latest Saw movie and make our own dinner. Because
Nice.
there is a new Saw movie, apparently, in 2018. So
Straight to video, I guess.
No. It was in theaters back in October, and we just didn't go because it looked kind of bad. But we're like, well, it's Valentine's. And this is what we used to do, so let's do it. Yeah,
We've been watching Vandred, and we're probably gonna complete that Valentine's Day night. It's an old anime. I wouldn't recommend the English dub. It's real bad. But it's also one of those where it was the half-seas. What was that been? 2001 maybe? Where all the robots are computerized and the people aren't. So there's kind of this weird disconnect between the two animation styles.
You really, really need to watch Initial D.
They do that with the cars,
The
right?
cars are 3D and just awful 3D. It's so bad to the point where it's charming. And then everything else is traditionally animated.
It gets better. In season 2 of Vandred, it gets better because they kind of learned lessons from Firefly. I feel like if you're going to do something, learn from Star Wars and Firefly. Star Wars was more of this is what we had to do because they're models, so we're going to shoot them in ways that make their motion look like it makes sense in space and that there's actually action happening.
Right.
And Firefly's really good at these zoom out establishing shots even to the sense where he's like, "Oh, it's space. What's going on? Oh, there's the ship you're looking for." And you can even kind of see that reflected in many scenes of Avengers where they're like, "Where's Iron Man?" "Oh, there he is. He's just that little dot going across the sky." And those establishing shots mean so much, but in this old anime, because it's early on with computers, they just attach the camera to the front of the vehicle and then just it makes no the space makes no sense.
Gotcha. It looks like this originally aired in 2000.
Yeah.
Looks like it was just one run, and then they just end. There's only 13 episodes?
That'd be season 1. I think season 2 is called Phase 2 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, because according to Wikipedia, the original run just ran from October to December in 2000.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And, then season 2, they've got hair physics and whatnot. And
oh, damn. Yeah.
Everyone's more bouncy.
This looks like Boob Physics, the anime.
To an extent, yeah. I mean, there are a lot of what's the word for it? A harem anime, is it? But I've been watching British documentaries recently, so it's a harem in my vocabulary.
All right, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, because I'm noticing with no knowledge of this anime, by the way, just from Google image search, one dude and a bunch of scantily clad ladies.
Yeah, but there's a lot of these where a guy will end up employed by his grandmother to work the bathhouse, but when he arrives, it's an all-female bathhouse, and the wackiness ensues, where he's really only in love with one of them, but all the other girls like messing with him anyway.
Right. The only one of these I have seen is Tenchi Muyo.
Yeah, that'd be another version of it.
Yeah.
This one is that there are 2 planets. Men and women have split in space. And there's a planet of men and a planet of women, and both have used factories or genetic modifying to continue procreation, and they're at war with each other. So they arrive, and men don't understand women, and women don't understand men, and it gets all wacky.
This is literally an episode of Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Except for a whole series about it. And it gets pretty Reaper, Mass Effect. Like, there is a decent enemy, and the wackiness subsides. But it's funny to watch things like this now that I'm older. I mean, it used to be very much for the super bubbly ones, which a lot like my wife, very excited, the happy ones. But, there's also the brooding one and all of that. But nowadays I'm like, who's got their shit together? That captain, she's older. She looks like she wouldn't complain about simple things. I like that one.
Oh, that's freaking great. That's wonderful. I always went for the violent ones. The ones that just wanted to kill people. Yeah. I remember Evangelion, Asuka. Oh, yeah.
And you're like, ooh, Asuka would be fun to date. And nowadays I'm like, she's nuts. She's
but still my favorite character in Evangelion. And I've also always had a thing for the German language.
I don't think any of them are dateable sane anymore, but that world's fallen apart. So
no, everyone in Evangelion is basically off their rocker.
Yeah,
pretty much. And oh god, I just hate the main character of Evangelion so much.
Well, I've spent a lot of time talking about Vandred now. I still don't know if I'd recommend it out there to people. I mean, it's one from Kristen's childhood. She worked in a video store growing up, so she knows like just bizarre amounts of 2000 animes. And has seen all of them from working in that video store and renting whatever she wants on the weekend. But I'm kind of surprised it hasn't come up recently, because everyone's been, very focused on gender, and this is a really fun go at it. And I feel like we need to bring it back a little bit.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like the costumes would turn some people off in that conversation.
Right. That's the tough part, but it does have some interesting moments.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, I used to go to Blockbuster and just rent anime based on the cover, and that's how I ended up watching things like Akira and Lotus War and stuff like that.
Yeah, that didn't work very well. I like the internet now better.
Yeah. I just like Netflix. It's like, well, what's good on here? And that's how I discovered freaking Death Note, for crying out loud. It's one of my favorite animes ever. I know you technically should not put an S after anime. Just bear with me here, people.
Because they don't do that in their language?
I don't know. I just know I've been yelled at it for, but it's hard. I don't care.
We're English. They use our words all the time. In fact, I'm honestly shocked at how many things they're like situation room. I'm like, you didn't have a word for situation room? I assume they do. They just love the English word situation room.
That's what I love about K-pop, man. There's the only Korean barbecue place that we have locally is 2 hours away in Orlando, and when we go, they have K-pop on 24/7, just 24 freaking 7. And my favorite thing in there is to just watch them and wait for them to drop a line of English just in the middle of their, Korean speaking song.
I wish we were more into it. I wish we had. Well, I guess Lady Gaga kind of had that fart off in the middle of her songs.
Yeah, we do it with French a lot.
Yeah, French.
Not just Lady
French.
Gaga. Like freaking Fall Out Boy does it too. Like we have a hang up with French here in America.
They helped us out a few times.
They did.
I can see it happening.
We paid it back, man. We paid it back. I'd like to think so.
I think we're for how. I don't know. That when you look at history and the French, they just hated Britain so much that they're like, yeah, America, you want some help? Because screw those guys.
Well, I think that's okay. I think we owed them a pretty big solid for them helping us establish our country,
Yeah.
and I think we did pay it back by helping save them from actual Nazis.
That's true, but we're not very nice about it still.
No.
Oh, you guys gave up? It's like, Jesus Christ, dudes. How many years?
Well, at this point, it's really just giving me anything to make fun of Patrick for.
Well, that's fair. We all got to find our ways to relate across the pond.
Well, I have been in a significantly more, traditional watching habits. I apparently somehow Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee ended up on Netflix now. I guess Crackle died or something. But Katie and I were perusing the Netflix one night when that horrible vortex you get sucked into when you're like, I don't know what I want to watch, and you literally just start clicking through Netflix, and 30 minutes later you still haven't made a choice. Yeah. And so we uncovered the fact that Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee is now on Netflix. Realized that there were a bunch of episodes we haven't seen yet. Started watching that, and that has led, I feel like inevitably, to us starting yet another rewatch of Seinfeld.
Kristen's never seen it, and she
Really?
asked if I'd like to power it up. I didn't really watch it traditionally either. I've seen the classics, like the Soup Man and the spinning tires, when they give up sex and they get weird in their different respective areas, the baseball episodes.
It's every time I go to revisit Seinfeld, I feel like I won't like it as much as I remember. And every time I am proven very wrong. The show still holds up. You can watch it with the haha, that's so 90s. Because every now and then that happens. Like there's an entire episode about an answering machine, for crying out loud. But overall, the general themes really hold up.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's just, oh God, it's just such good comedy. It's such really good comedy. It's so well done. I don't really know what else to say about it, but man, that show, it's I don't know, it's held in the reverence that it has, I think, for a reason. It's just like a perfect sitcom.
Do you find it much like we were talking about earlier, that it's different for you now grown up? And
yeah, you start, I'm definitely laughing at things I was not laughing at before. I think I'm catching a lot more of it. And I'm also kind of enjoying watching it from the, trying to think of how they crafted these jokes, especially watching it simultaneously with Comedians in Cars, because so much of Jerry's talks on there with other comedians is about the craft, about, how do you craft a joke, whatever it is. And I just recently watched the episode where his guest is the gentleman who played Kramer, whose name is eluding me. And they spent a lot of time on that show talking about what it was like behind the scenes on Seinfeld. And I never watched any behind the scenes stuff for Seinfeld, and it was just fascinating.
Yeah, you mentioned a quote from me. It was that Kramer said he wished he had enjoyed it more.
Yeah. He said that when he looks back on it, he wishes he had enjoyed it more. And Jerry's kind of response is, everyone. That's true for everyone who's ever worked on anything. Michael Richards. Sorry, I couldn't remember his damn name. Yeah. So that was a particularly great episode of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. There's a lot of discussion about the creative process on there. But man, Seinfeld's just funny, man. Katie and I are just dying rewatching these episodes.
We should make our way through it. I think we will. I never got into Friends, and I think Friends perverted my perception of Seinfeld as well, or what sitcoms were in general.
Friends is too wholesome for me. Seinfeld is so much of Larry David vehicle and this kind of cynical, like when you get into those talks with your friends where you're just let's be honest, judging random strangers around you. I mean, that is Seinfeld at its heart, and it's just, I guess I just relate to that more. It seems more realistic to me.
No, yeah, that's an excellent point. Friends definitely is, yeah, it's very much the dating scene. It's very careful. It's well connected, and where the gossip you say will get out in that New York setting. But the Seinfeld world is more like our own homes, where we come home and say, "Did you see that guy? He had no leg." And your wife goes, "Oh my God, that was so weird. I thought he had a leg, but it was fake." And just the casual conversations you'll have.
Yeah, it's
completely
you
trashing people sometimes too. Like,
right. Yeah. It's you opening up to those closest to you about what a horrible person you are, like things you don't say in public, you know. And there's just, I don't know, there's something about that really, really resonates with me. And it's Larry David. I mean, if you go watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, it's the same thing. It's just the gloves are off because it's on HBO and they can take it a little bit further.
Yeah, I watched quite a bit of that show too. In fact, I've seen more of that than Seinfeld.
I'm the other way around. I've only seen a little bit of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I have seen all of Seinfeld multiple times. But I really dig it.
Of those ones I watched the most, Will and Grace, certainly. And a lot of Drew Carey show growing up. Tool Time as well.
Home Improvement?
Yeah.
I love you call it Tool Time.
Well, that was my favorite part of the show. The first 10 minutes was the best. Because that's where all the jokes were before, I don't know, they found cigarettes in his drawer or something.
I hated Home Improvement. I absolutely could not stand that show. I did watch a lot of the Drew Carey show growing up. Have not revisited it since. I watched That 70s Show when it was originally on, and now it's in syndication on Comedy Central. So I've been watching it again, and that show holds up surprisingly well.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. But yes, I think as far as sitcoms go, man, like I feel like it's a lazy answer, but Seinfeld is my go-to. I have yet to find a sitcom that's better.
That's fair. But I think you find a lot of people that agree.
Yeah, it's been damn fun. But I mean, while we're on the subject of just general entertainment, I feel like we just keep talking about trailers on this show, and that's because I guess we're heading into movie season.
That's true. Summer and the rest of the year after that. Have
you seen the 2 big teasers from last week?
I didn't realize that the Deadpool was a teaser. I thought that was him just like messing around.
Yeah, no, I mean, the first half of it is just messing around, but then the back half, we get a legitimate kind of trailer for Deadpool 2.
It doesn't need a trailer. Like,
no, I'm sold on it.
See it.
Yeah, no, the first one, I was expecting it not to be as good as it was.
Yeah,
it seemed a little...
Not that it was special or the story was unique, but like it just had so much heart, you know. The old blind lady, him. What was it? He ripped off his own arm to flip her off or something. Like
he cut off his own hand, and then it was growing like the yeah. That's for me. It was all the little things. It was the jokes per minute, man, and the you're right. It was not creative at all in its actual structure, but the jokes were so damn creative.
Well, and it's justified, and that's all you need. They took the time to be like, this guy's holding a knife, and here's the knife used in the next scene. Like, so many people just completely avoid that. Like, oh my God, Justice League. They leave the box. Like, they're after the box the whole movie, and they just kind of forget about it, and the bad guy gets it because they neglected. Like, what? That's not how you do a story.
It's I mean, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, I would say maybe we should give them a little more respect, because you know what other movie had like a major event happen off screen? No Country for Old Men. And people couldn't shut up about what a perfect movie that was. Although I hate No Country for Old Men. I think that movie's bad.
I think, too, that one is based in a pseudo-reality, and conveniences are good when they're real people's faults. Conveniences for superheroes, though, should be super. And if it's just you done forgot because you got excited that computerized mustache man showed up, then that's not a good convenience.
Yeah, no, you're right. And for those of you who love No Country for Old Men, no, I'm not putting it on the same level as Justice League, but I did not care for that movie.
I saw it a long time ago. I was the only... We're talking about the cow pressurized poker, right? Movie?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That was the only part about it where I was like, oh, that's cool. And then the rest of the time, I'm like, I'm bored. I'm just bored.
Yeah, I should give it another above the age of 18 viewing, because that... And no, that's actually not true, because I watched Silence of the Lambs way before that and thought that movie was fascinating and enthralling.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. I feel like I probably saw Silence of the Lambs like at 11 or 12 for the first time, and just and just thinking, wow, like I didn't know movies could be scary without being overtly like scary, like jump scares and stuff like that. I think it was the first time I watched a movie and was just super freaked out afterwards, just from the concepts. And then watching it way later, actually, being over 18 and still finding it exceptional.
It's one of those movies you can sleep well after for me, because, like, I'm not going to go to an art museum. I'm not going to be any of the places that I would be attacked by this classy villain.
What is it? But I do go to art museums. Am I going to die, Kyle?
Maybe you may be, but at least it'll be a classy death,
Oh, no. That's no good. But back to the Deadpool 2 teaser. Looks fun. I enjoyed the jokes. This is going to be the year of Josh Brolin, man. He's Thanos and he's Cable. It's going to be like it's going to be like when True Grit and Tron and all those things came out, and what the dude, what's his name? Why can't I remember the name of the guy from The Big Lebowski?
Yes, Dad from Guardians of the Galaxy. Jeff Bridges.
No, Jeff Bridges is not the dad in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wait, who am I thinking of?
You're thinking of oh man, I cannot think of any names.
Wait, the Thing, right?
No, that's not the same actor. That's oh my god. That's Kurt Russell.
Oh, Kurt Russell. Yeah. Who the heck is Jeff Bridges?
Jeff Bridges is Big Lebowski and True Grit and Tron. They don't even look alike.
Wait, what?
Oh, this is so good.
This is so good. Okay, so there's him, and so who's Big Lebowski?
Jeff Bridges.
Oh, wait, Snake Plissken. Yeah.
No, that's still Kurt Russell.
Yeah, no, I get it. Okay, but that's Kurt Russell.
Yes.
What?
I love that you're standing and you have to duck to start looking at things.
You're right. These are two guys.
They don't even look alike.
No, they kind of look alike.
They look alike if you think all white dudes with long hair look alike.
Well, maybe. What the crap, really?
Also, Kurt Russell has never had as amazing of a beard as Jeff Bridges.
No, I honestly thought that there was like... I think they're the same guy. I think it is literally Jeff Bridges having fun and Jeff Bridges having no fun. And there's smiling Kurt Russell, and then there's mad Jeff Bridges. And they're both the same person. Wow, holy crap. Okay, my mind is blown by my own design.
You see, I think I remember Jeff Bridges because that's what I think you will be when you're old. I think you're going to just be walking around in a robe with kind of long, unkempt hair and a beard. And you're just gonna be like, it's like you. I think you're gonna be the dude. You're gonna be the dude when you hit like the 60-year-old plus mark. Everything's gonna be. It's cool, man. It's cool.
I can see it happening. So right now I'm kind of like in the Starman phase of my life, and
still not the same actor.
No, wait, no, we're talking about Big Lebowski. No, wait, Starman is Jeff Bridges. Yeah, that's Big Lebowski. We're talking about the same guy, finally.
Oh, okay. I thought you were making a Guardians reference.
No, actually, a movie called Starman. It's like a romantic. It's a romance, I guess. It came out around the Close Encounters kind of time period, so it's very, on a base, meet the aliens. Like what was popular after ETs.
On a base, meet the aliens. Yeah, I have no idea what it is. Oh man, it looks 80s as hell looking at the cover.
Yeah, I actually only watched it because Film Sack. Because they were having so much fun sacking it, I had to know what was going on before I could enjoy more.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. Dude,
that sucks. I am pissed.
You're pissed that you've been misconstruing two actors for so long?
Damn it! I thought there was one real good actor out there who was pulling off both these things. Kurt Russell, man, you got mad credit from me for Iron Man, dude.
That wasn't Kurt Russell.
No, it wasn't. Not anymore. Shit.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, this is why I love you, man. This is just stop the podcast dead in its tracks. It's just us laughing at each other, but I'm having a very good time right now. Yeah. Oh my God, you thought Kurt Russell delivered the line of Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Well, then he's in the Hateful Eight, basically doing that. Kurt Russell, that is.
That is Kurt Russell.
Like, they basically, one of them does a gruff role, the other one, I'm just like, oh, he's in a gruff period. What a busy man. Oh, he's feeling wacky in 1998. I mean, let's look at this. So, Escape from L.A., then Big Lebowski. Makes sense. All right.
No, it
Natural flow.
It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, man. That's great. That's great. I
think I like Kurt Russell better.
Oh, okay.
I think I would definitely rate Jeff Bridges' movies higher, but Kurt Russell is just having so much fun.
Man, that is hard for me to. They're so. I love them both for different reasons. I think of Jeff Bridges instantly as more fun than Kurt Russell, but you're right. Kurt Russell has had a lot of very fun roles. Huh. Oh man, I don't know. I love True Grit so damn much, so it's hard for me to walk back my enjoyment of Jeff Bridges at all, but whatever. Let's walk back enjoyment and talk about the Venom teaser.
All right.
I
know this guy. I don't confuse him with anyone.
all I saw in regards to the Venom teaser, I saw everyone just talking about how lame it was before I watched the actual teaser. So I went in thinking, oh, there's no way it's that bad. And it's not like it was like horribly just a bad trailer. It was just so unenthusiastic about itself. It kind of it just felt like they were getting on with it. Like, here you go. We made this.
I mean, we automatically accuse Sony of that because they are holding on to their rights. And I think a lot of us are just like, just let Disney do it.
Yeah. So it's interesting to kind of compare the Venom teaser to the Deadpool 2 teaser because it's kind of the similarity is here are two Marvel movies being made by studios that aren't doing Marvel all that great overall, right? Like, or at least it's not part of the greater MCU. Because I mean, Deadpool 1 was fantastic and Logan was fantastic, but everything else Fox has done, Fantastic Four and whatnot, not so great.
That's right. That's Fox.
Yep. And here we have Venom by Sony, who's struggled with the Spider-Man license so much to the fact that they're like, all right, Disney, you can have Spider-Man, but we get to make our own movies. And Homecoming was great, but Venom looks to be, entirely Sony on its own. And like I said, it's just very mediocre. It's not that it's like horribly bad. I didn't watch this thinking, oh man, we got another Spider-Man 3 on our hands. But
no.
It just seems very gray, unseasoned.
I mean, it's a trailer they could have made with the minimal special effects done. We don't see Venom at all during it, other than maybe, if you want to say some black veins coming up his neck when he's screaming in bed. I mean, clearly the guy's exhausting himself.
Yeah,
Tom Hardy.
we see like a half second of some writhing symbiote in a glass case.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I love the fact that he's getting a standalone movie, though. I think Venom has always been a fascinating character. I think skipping ahead to Spider-Man having the suit was always a disservice to, was it Brock, the character?
Eddie Brock, right? I think it depends on what version you're watching. Because in the cartoon, he was an astronaut. He came back with it.
Maybe. I definitely remember a lot of rivalry in like photography between Parker and Eddie, and that's why his Venom is always hunting Peter Parker because he's pissed at him for stealing his job.
Makes sense. I don't know my comics Spider-Man all that well.
And as you say, there's tons of different versions of the story at this point.
Yeah, most of my Spider-Man was consumed via cartoons and the video games. Spider-Man 2 being the one that was just so much better than it should have been. I played that on the GameCube.
This trailer actually sent me looking for monsters because I did walk away rather frustrated. They didn't show Venom. So I end up looking up a bunch of CGI monsters and trailers and, watching bits of old Godzillas and the new Godzilla, which I forget what it's called, but really, really disturbing. It's the brand new one where they still do the puppet and the guy inside, but it's like evolving in the city and it's just cataclysmic. It's nasty.
What is this?
I forget what the Godzilla called. It came out after the most recent one because they're like, that's American Godzilla. Let's go back to traditional Godzilla, which is very much a Fallout Japan kind of situation and really kind of shows the shock of that culture that still exists. But I ended up watching, and for the first time ever, the Halo 2 redone cutscenes with the Gravemind. And I had never seen that before. Holy crap, that was cool.
Oh, yeah, dude, yeah. You got an Xbox One. You should definitely pick up the Master Chief Collection for whatever small pittance they're probably selling it for now. Because going back through Halo 2 with, the updated just graphics, and then they got, I think, Blur Studios to redo all the cinematics. It's nuts, man.
Yeah, like that. It has a real cool quality. It's visceral. It's so juicy. It looks like a puppet. It does. It's like that Gravemind. While he's just classic 2000 video game mumbo jumbo.
Yep.
And all we really want is Guilty Spark. I don't give a crap about their Great Journey prophecy bull. That was thrown on top, in my opinion. Guilty Spark's where it's at.
I do love Guilty Spark, but I also love Gravemind. The Gravemind stuff was great.
Yeah. Did they ever do anything with that guy?
I mean, spoilers for Halo 3, but he dies in Halo 3.
Do you fight him proper?
No.
Oh.
No, you blow up the planet he's on.
Well, that's not fair. He was cool.
You blow up. Yeah, no, I guess. No, you blow up the Halo ring that he's on. You didn't play Halo 3?
No, because that was the console shift.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that thing the podcasters aren't supposed to do, which is like put a project out into the universe publicly that some people might get really excited about, and it may never happen, and I apologize. But at some point, you and I need to play through the 3 original Halos on co-op together. Because I don't need a reason to replay Halo. It's probably my most replayed game, and that sounds like a lot of fun because the co-op is a blast.
Yeah, as long as it's not legendary. I've already done that for 1 and 2, and 2 made it stupid. No,
2's legendary is just not fun.
No,
at all. I will play Halo 1 on legendary at the drop of a hat. But I do heroic through the rest, pretty much.
That sounds fair.
I've done 3 on legendary. 3 isn't so bad on legendary. It kind of goes back to 1.
Well, 2 had the one-shot sniper rifle guys from the second level of the game.
Yep, it's total BS. But, yeah. Oh, by the way, Kilmarnock, yeah, that's right. Sorry. J. Jonah Jameson's son is the one who brings the symbiote back from space, and then it kind of goes from him to Eddie Brock at some point.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So okay. I was getting my symbiote carriers mixed up. Now I remember that. Right, it was Jana Jonah Jameson. Because they introduced Jonah's son in one of the Tobey Maguire movies, and I remember getting excited, thinking, "Oh yeah, we're getting Venom," and then they just dropped that entirely for the third one. And I forget where the symbiote even comes in the third one because I've just blocked that movie out of my head.
I'm pretty sure it's still from space. I remember a spacecraft, and didn't it land on like the New York Bridge or something ridiculous? And Spider-Man shows up to help.
Is that what it was? God, that third movie is so bad.
Yeah,
it is so awful.
It hurt. And people trash Tobey Maguire from the beginning. Maybe I was the right age, but I thought one was just fantastic. Then again, Willem Dafoe was the villain, and that made things easy.
I liked it at the time. I really enjoyed 1 and 2 at the time. Played the crap out of the video games. But the older I get, the less and less I like them. Tobey Maguire's just he doesn't enjoy being Spider-Man, and I need my Spider-Man to enjoy being Spider-Man.
That's fair. I don't think we had a lot of that sort of superhero movie yet. Nowadays, the regretful hero, the guy who doesn't want to do it, it's old, it's tired. Give that to someone who actually has like powers that are a burden, like Cyclops. Like, let him cry. Go for it, dude. Your life sucks. You can't see. But but you know, the rest of them, and also like Jean Grey, like that whole relationship is screwed because she's got migraines and turns into a space unit. Like that's something to be sad about.
Yeah, I agree. Although I just don't like Cyclops. I realize you're not supposed to like Cyclops, but I feel like I should, but he's just not a fun character.
Really, I think as a older brother, I respect the hell out of Cyclops because everyone was a screw up, and everyone was off doing their own thing, and Wolverine's crying, and he's so busy managing a team he doesn't even know his wife's flirting around with Wolverine. Like it sucks to be Cyclops, and he's holding everything together.
I mean, I guess I've definitely sympathized with that archetype more as I get older, but I still just don't like Cyclops.
Yeah, sure.
He's just not fun.
But his brother gets hand lasers that he can control at whim. That's butts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll give you a good example. I hated Leonardo growing up. Ninja Turtles, one of my favorite things ever. That was my jam when I was a kid, and I still love the Ninja Turtles now. And I always hated Leonardo. And the older I get, the more and more I like Leonardo. And the more and more I'm like, yeah, Raphael is an asshole. Like,
yeah,
he screws everything up for everyone.
I always liked Donatello the best because he had the inventions and he was so creative.
This is why you're my best friend. Donatello was my favorite as well.
He's great. And Michelangelo's like just there to enjoy the toys and kick butt and eat pizza. But yeah, Raphael, it's Kristen's favorite. And she likes it because someone's got to do that stuff. You know, everybody's like, we can't go there. We can't fight that. We can't leave the house because they'll find out about us. And Raphael's like, screw that. The town's in trouble. I'm going out. Maybe do a movie. That's not the right thing to do. But he gets himself embroiled and ultimately is the one that solves or starts everything by his own faults, but ends up finding the bad guy or causing the first attack that sets everything in motion.
Yeah. You know, those new...
I stopped watching Bob's Burgers because the bunny-haired girl did not bunny-haired girl.
Louise?
Yeah. She didn't create a better world through her problems, where Raphael did.
Huh. I love Bob's Burgers. It's probably my...
Oh, it's a blast. And I love Fish Owner, so much. Kevin Costner, right?
Is that who... Is Kevin Costner a fish owner?
Yeah, I think so, right? In and Out, I know the weirdest movies. I don't really know, like, In and Out is like what I know, maybe Kevin.
I'm gonna have to, I'm just IMDb'ing in the background.
No, wrong guy. Darn it. That's
Kevin Kline.
Kline, there we go. Kevin Kline.
Oh, God, he's the guy from Wild Wild West.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Fair enough.
Love those episodes.
I get
like
you.
The one where they have to do the scavenger hunts outside his house and just Such a great character.
Yeah, he's a highlight for me too. I mean, his "Oh Bourbon" song
Yes, we sang that a whole Christmas.
Is a holiday staple in this house. Just "Oh Bourbon,
bourbon, oh bourbon,
bourbon, bourbon, bourbon." Just the way it gets into it, I love it. It's so good.
Bourbon for me. Just great.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah.
That's adult life right there.
Yeah.
Sitting in a room by yourself, singing a song about bourbon to yourself.
Bourbon, 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 bourbon. Yeah. It's pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb, man. I love it. And then kind of capping off the superhero film discussion, it looks like we might be getting a Joaquin Phoenix Joker after all.
Okay.
That's my reaction.
I thought this was a joke or something.
I was kind of hoping. So apparently they are going forward with a one-shot Joker movie that has nothing to do with the existing DCEU, which is a plus, I guess. But they're still moving forward with the DCEU, so if they're changing Jokers, I kind of want it to be involved in the DCEU because I don't want to ever see Suicide Squad Joker again.
Oh, this is incest sister gladiator man.
Yes.
They're using this picture of him with like long hair and and weight because he's 43 now, so he's not huge or anything. But I didn't recognize him, huh?
I don't think I can make today's title Incest Sister Gladiator Man.
No,
but I really want to.
I think that really kind of put a cloud over the whole conversation we've had so far, where everyone's sitting there like, and where's where's the incest? What the hell is wrong with these guys?
Right. But man, this just seems odd. The dude who did The Hangover is going to be writing and directing it. Joaquin Phoenix is the Joker. I'm just so defeated by DC movies at this point that I'm just kind of like, sure, why not? Let's see what comes of this.
Yeah, that's really all you can say.
Yeah. It can't be worse than Leto's Joker, right? Like, there's no way it could be worse than Leto's Joker.
I didn't even sit through it. I have zero interest.
I actually had a lot of fun with Suicide Squad, but it wasn't because of the Joker. Yeah. This is just odd that they're even doing this.
I mean, he could be off enough,
Yeah, no, my concern isn't with Joaquin Phoenix, it's with the kind of the whole project. That they're even like doing a one shot that's going to be off on its own. Apparently there's talk that it's going to be an origin movie, which anytime you want to do the Joker's origin just makes me go, ugh! I just recoil from it immediately.
Yeah, what are you're going to take it slow? You're going to like enjoy him as wasn't he like a magic man?
There's well, yeah, that's the version I like the most, which comes from. Does it come from the Under the Red Hood comic as well? It's in the animated Under the Red Hood.
He was the Red Hood, right?
Which is, I think, the best animated DC movie out there. That one is so solid, and that's my favorite Joker origin story. But I'm not sure they could do it better in a live action.
I mean, it's always the first live action one. What was it? 1989 or something like that.
I just rewatched that, by the way. The Tim Burton, Jack Nicholson, Batman flick.
Yeah, who's Batman in that thing?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
That's the Joker to me and my dad. I mean, I used to go out for Pokemon tournaments at Toys R Us and go play Magic cards with my friends. And before I leave, he'd say, "Hang on, your lucky deck," and then shoot all my cards into my hat for me.
That's kind of scary, considering he does that right before he sends him off to die.
Yeah, well, my quotes they're just fun to say. I don't think my dad thinks of the greater meaning of them.
That's true. That's fair enough. Yeah, dude, The Dark Knight is one of my favorite movies ever. and Heath Ledger's Joker is legendary. And I think it earned it. I don't think it's overrated. I think it's equal. It's rated as high as it should be, in my opinion. And I haven't watched 89 Batman in so damn long. Rewatched it recently. That movie is so much better than I remember.
It's fun. Like, we make fun of him not being able to turn his head proper when he flies over in the jet. Not like anyone could see a thumbs up from the ground anyway. And the balloon cutting, like, where does he get those wonderful toys? I love it. It's such a great movie.
Yeah, and Jack Nicholson's Joker, man, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, and he pulls out the big long gun. Just so many good gags.
Yeah, he's a Joker-ass Joker in there, man. He's got all the toys and crap. I mean, that's if anything's missing from Ledger's Joker, it's that. He doesn't really have any of the fun toys. He's just kind of a straight-up domestic terrorist.
That's true. I mean, he does have the grenades in his pocket with the string and the pencil kill. And...
Oh, he does have the shoe knife as well, which I love.
Yeah, that's right. When they're dueling, there's so much to love about that. It's great that the movie was able to be successful on its own merits first, and it's sad as a consumer, of course, that we didn't get to see that third one. Yeah.
Folks, if you've never Googled the original plans for the Dark Knight Rises, had Heath Ledger sadly not passed away, it sounds like it would have been an amazing movie.
Yeah.
I recommend going and doing that. So, but yeah, sure, Joaquin Phoenix, knock yourself out. I'll probably still go see it.
I mean, I didn't believe Heath Ledger either. That was coming out of, for me, we were still late high school, early college kids going, Brokeback Mountain,
yeah.
How could he ever be a superhero to me?
Yep, that was my exact reaction. Mind you, I hadn't seen Brokeback Mountain yet.
Actually, it was a fine, normal-ass movie.
Dark Knight made me go and watch Brokeback Mountain. That is a good-ass movie.
Yeah, it's a love story. That's all it is, and that's the best way to show it.
That's one of those movies that's like, wow, this is really good, but I struggle to recommend it because it's so depressing.
Yeah, that's true. It's not a fun watch.
No, it's not. It really isn't. But anyways, shall we take a couple tweets before we wrap up here?
Let's do that.
All right. If you want to write in, amovetv@gmail.com is the place to do that. It's amovetv@gmail.com. Put Weeksauce somewhere in the subject line. But we're pulling from Twitter this week. I'm kicking off with one that's been waiting in the wings for a long time, and I figure we'll pull this out on Valentine's week. Spreewald Fuchs asks, what is the story of how you two met your wives?
Oh, go for it, sir.
Well, I met my wife at the ripe old age of 14.
When all important decisions are made.
Yes, they are. We were at high school orientation. So school hadn't even started yet. It was still technically summer. We went into the high school campus. We were divvied up by, I don't know, names? I have no idea how they divvied us up, but Katie and I ended up in what they literally called the leftovers. Oh. We were the group of kids that they showed up and realized we weren't in a group. So they threw us all together, and they were, team building exercises and stuff. So our team building exercise was, you're the leftovers. Here's a bunch of aluminum foil. Make something out of it. And this is what I remember. And I remember, I remember seeing Katie, thinking she was like this cool ass looking surfer chick with her big old sunglasses, just thinking she was the hottest girl I had ever seen. And naturally, freshman year comes, go to ask her out, and of course she's like dating a dude 2 years above her, and
because she's cool.
Yeah, didn't work out. And sophomore year, got word that she didn't have a boyfriend anymore. We were in a lot of the same classes together. Got her talking about her favorite band because we both showed up in the same band t-shirt. Asked her if she wanted to go see a movie. She said yes. It was sophomore year of high school, so neither of us could drive, which means my mom drove us to our first date.
Hell yeah.
She pulled up in... They still have it. It was old at that time. It is really old now. This big green Chevy conversion van that I thought was the coolest thing ever at the time because it had a TV in it.
Oh,
Like a tube TV. Still in there, by the way. Still works, by the way. So Katie agrees to go to a movie with me. My mom picks us up. And for some reason, my aunt was hanging out with my mom, so my aunt is with us, which means my cousins are with us, and my brother. So the whole family pulls up to pick up Katie, and we go to see the classic film, Kyle, Vin Diesel starring in Triple X.
Nice.
Yeah, that was our first date.
I went and saw that with my dad.
Did you?
Yeah, we go see Bond movies together, and I don't remember if that was before or after the first Fast and the Furious, but Vin Diesel
would have been after.
Yeah, because he had enough cred to be action man to my dad.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, Katie really enjoyed Fast and the Furious, and I think I knew that, and I think that's why I suggested it. Also, you're in high school, and the movie is kind of irrelevant when you have nowhere else to go be alone with another person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that, and somehow a really bad movie and your entire family showing up wasn't enough to scare Katie away. So,
I mean, I think a bad movie is an important part of any date going well. I took a date to a bad movie and ended up talking to myself the whole time, and that's when I knew, not this one, not this one.
Oh man, now I want to go down the bad date rabbit hole. But anyway, before we do, how'd you and Kristen meet?
We met, so I had seen her at our improv troupe meetings in college, but there was this guy creeping on her, and I thought he was creepy, but he was also kind of like touchy, and she's so damn nice that I thought they were going out. So I was like, okay, and just block that part out of my mind. Didn't notice her until I went to a Halloween party where she was dressed as a nudist on strike, which means she was dressed 100% normal with a sign that said nudist on strike. I was dressed as a Ghostbuster. I had my hair slicked back, and I guess with the hair slicked back and the tall and the Ghostbuster thing, she was just completely enamored or just like pledged to her friends that one, I'm gonna get that one. So I'm sitting on a couch kind of by myself. The party's kind of, in its swing. My friends are looking to get out of there and head to the more drinky party because this thing's kind of, low key. It's theater people. They didn't need any in substances. We were under 21. So people were just having a good time hanging out. But they wanted to go to the drinks party, So she corners me on the couch and is like, hey, you like anime? And I'm like, well, yeah, that's something for someone to ask. You know what? I do. And we start talking about Hellsing. And at that very moment, my friends come by and they're like, okay, we're go. We know where all the drinks are. Let's go. They got Hunch Punch. Let's get over there. And because of the urgency of that situation, I did something I never would have done in a normal situation, which was got her number. Or in this case, got her full name for Facebook. And normally I'd be like, oh, well, let's give this some time. But we literally just started talking about anime. And so we exchanged information, and from there, the rest is history.
Oh, man, that's fantastic. And back then, Facebook would have just been getting started. You needed a college email to even sign up for Facebook.
Yeah, it was good back then because everything was legit to you. Because you were in your circles of your college buds, and everything that was posted had at least some bearing on you because it was the college happenings.
Right. Your parents weren't there yet.
Yeah, or and your timeline wasn't full of babies and stuff that makes you go, oh crap, I'm old.
Yeah, and I also wasn't connecting with people from high school that I had no interest in connecting with. Like, it was just your current, it was so in the moment.
Well, and that's kind of like the exciting thing about it. You're just friending everybody because you just wanted to collect them all and be part of all of the college scene. And you're right, once, people start being like, hey, you want to be my friend? You're like, not really. Guy I remember from high school. That's when I started getting out of there. Yeah.
It's a strange place. I really barely check my Facebook anymore.
Yeah, mine's been deleted since well before ITN started.
Gotcha. Well, this wasn't a specific question that was asked, but I'm curious. What is a bad date you remember?
I certainly remember that one. We went and saw I forget all their names now, and I feel bad about that. But I've got new names. I've got plans for a family. You know, like I'm not gonna remember my one-off dates' names, but I do feel kind of bad about it. We went and saw The Pulse. It was that awful horror movie about the internet coming to life and killing people.
I don't even know what it is, and I have seen a lot of bad freaking horror movies.
Yeah, like it was real bad, and we all knew it was going to be bad. And like the tough thing about this date was on Facebook Messenger, she was witty, but when we got in person, it was very dry. There was no wit. It wasn't quick. And so I found myself making jokes, and before she could respond, I was on to the next topic or the next joke, and we couldn't catch up.
Yeah. Oh, this was a Wes Craven movie.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, and it's a remake of a Japanese horror movie.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Lots of people crawl in ways they shouldn't be crawling.
That will never stop creeping me out, by the way.
Yeah. It's so stupid. It is ridiculously stupid. He's crawling backwards on the ceiling. And your brain goes, that ain't right. Let's memorize that and think about that all night. And you're like, there is no threat to a little girl crawling on the ceiling with her head upside. She's already broken her damn neck as far as I can see.
Yeah.
At one point, like a guy crawls out of like a washing machine in this movie. Like it's stupid.
I remember The Grudge pissing me off because it did a lot of that, but it would just scare you at points where there was no lead up. Like there's just a jump scare where she's sitting on a bus, and it just made me angry. I'm like, you didn't earn that. You didn't earn that scare, you piece of shit. The bad date that jumps into my mind was went on a date with this girl, and that's how I learned what a furry was, and it scared the hell out of me, and I never called her again.
Huh.
Yeah. It was one of those. It was one of those where she was talking about her friends who do this thing that's weird, and I was just like, yeah, your friends, I'm sure, right? Okay. I felt like she was testing the water, and I was just like, not for me. Not for me.
What age was this date?
High school.
I can't assume those suits are cheap. How did high schoolers get a hold of?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know how people were tricking out their cars in high school. So
that's a good point.
I'm assuming if you were not into tricking out your car, that money could go elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you go, okay, can we buy all this? Can we go to Joann's? I want to buy all this. And you're like, oh, yeah, you making blankets? Sweet. I want to buy some shoes that I can insert inside the blankets. Okay, cool. I want to get a helmet that is shaped like a frog. And that's when you go, what are we working on here, kid?
Oh, yeah, that was the one. That's the only time I can ever really think of where I went on a date and I was just like, yeah, I don't think I have any interest in continuing this. Because I was always the guy that had the long-term relationship. Like, no matter what girl I was dating, it lasted a little while. And this was the only time where I was like, one date and I was out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Important thing to have in your life, and I don't regret the dates I did go on, but it's tough, you know. I'm a sensitive person, and I don't like stringing people along, and particularly with Kristen too. When I met her, I wasn't planning on finding anybody else. I was currently dating another girl. I ended up hanging out with Kristen rather extensively for 2 weeks, and we weren't dating, but I had to call up the other girl and be like, hey, found someone else. Hope we're cool. Let's be friends, but not really because I found my future wife. I'm out.
Yeah, I remember breaking off my last long-term relationship. I mean, she broke it off with me when I moved back to Florida from LA, and I was like, okay, I mean, all right, sure, cool. Move back to Florida, very quickly start rekindling things with Katie, and that particular ex getting real mad about that, thinking I just stuck with her for almost 4 years as a 4-year rebound, and I'm like, well, that's a pretty large leap to make.
I think everyone's had that situation where they get broken up with, and then the other person gets real mad you didn't mourn them longer, and you're going, now hang on.
Yes, exactly. Now, excuse me. I mean, granted, I was the one who decided to move, but
I was there. I was there during those times.
Yeah, you were.
That wasn't exactly a joyous move.
It almost took podcasts with it. I almost just quit podcasting entirely. It was rough. It was rough. All right. Shareable Texas wants to know most significant video game crush besides Arthas.
Tally.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be your answer.
Totally.
You've mentioned Tally before. And I had to really rack my brain for this one because I have not had a recent video game crush. And it's a tie between Farah from The Sands of Time.
Good one.
And Bonnie McFarlane from Red Dead Redemption.
Ooh, didn't play that one, but
Bonnie is a badass.
Nice.
Yeah, she's the farmer's daughter who is more capable than the farmer himself.
Could you cuddle with them for as long as you wanted?
No, because Marston's a married man. He has no interest. But they click so perfectly.
That's fair.
Marston's an honorable man, even though he's on his quest for redemption, and he's far away from his family. He very early on you meet this woman Bonnie, and it's just you can tell she is his equal in every way. And in another universe, it would have been perfect.
That's a great balancing act. It's the Marion from Indiana Jones kind of thing.
Yes.
Where they're both individuals. They both have their own perhaps fighting styles or ways they handle things, but they can just keep up with each other. Yeah.
God, Raina Marion. I think that's God. Yeah. I see a lot of Marion and Katie, and Marion was a female character who had a big influence on me as a child. And that's one of the things I started noticing the older I got on rewatches of Raiders. I'm like, oh my God, I think I married Katie because I found my Marion.
Well, and Marion is not old, but she's got the crow's feet. And so as a kid, you're like, that's an adult. That is very much an adult. I don't see anything there. Whereas I'm like April O'Neil with her zip thing down. Hey, I'm 3. What up, April O'Neil?
Yeah. I mean, it was a total pervert when I was a kid. So, like, playing Spider-Man 2 on the GameCube, like, Black Cat shows up. She's super flirty. I'm really into it. But, like, the more I think about it, I really just wanted someone who would cuss me out when I'm being an idiot and, like, tell me how it is. And the equivalent of that, that left hook that Marion gives Indy in Raiders. I want someone to just kick my ass when I need my ass kicked.
Well, he's being a boob, and he deserves it.
Yeah, and Katie has never taken my shit. Never. I think that's why my family likes her, because I am the smart ass in the family. I am the guy that always says the thing at dinner that makes everyone, Garrett, why would you say that? And Katie gives it right back.
It's important.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Kristen asked, what's the most romantic thing someone has done for you? And this is where I kind of think I would like to use your favorite meme and go, that's bait.
Yeah, that's bait right there.
That's bait.
Because the worst part is she's probably thinking of something really specific, but much like doing a live show, people find the most random things hilarious or romantic, and oftentimes the thing that they find the most romantic thing you've ever done is the most unplanned thing you've ever done. Like one of her establishing dates that we went on is I made a picnic. It was a hot day in Florida, so it was going to be a very warm night. So I made a picnic for the back of my truck, loaded it with blankets and whatnot, and we went to the nicest neighborhood in town that wasn't open yet, and parked in a driveway of an uninhabited home, and had a picnic under the stars. And
you trespassed.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It was a whole neighborhood, it was beautiful, it was expensive, but it wasn't open yet. So I drove in, and I don't know why. I guess I drove by there at one point and was like, that's kind of cute. It's like you get to play a little bit of house for a moment, and I just kind of did it on a one-day whim. No plan. Wore a suit for it, so I made a whole big deal of it.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
So I think that's the one she'd say.
Okay.
Yeah, but I could be wrong. Now we'll have to have her back on now because I need to know which one she's thinking of.
Okay. Katie has done so many things over the years that I find it difficult to pinpoint. One of the things that she'll do off and on, so I'm not sure when to expect it, is when either of us are traveling, she will leave me notes. Katie's doesn't talk a lot. And so like I don't get a lot of like mushy expressions of love out of her. So when I get like a letter, it breaks my world. It makes me miss her horribly. And so like I don't know, a few years back when I went to Nerdtacular, it's freezing in Utah, so I stick my hands into my hoodie pockets, and in there is like in an envelope, like a love letter. So that's the kind of thing that just kills me. But the big thing that really pops into my head. So I already mentioned on the show we started dating in high school. We dated from high school until the early years of college, and then we broke up. We had a long break. After college, I moved to California. She moved to Georgia, and then we moved back around the same time. Anyway, somewhere in there, when we were not dating, when I was fairly certain it was over, she had been dating someone for a long time. I had been dating for someone for a long time. Pretty sure nothing was going to be happening in that regard. We every now and then we would still hang out because she was like the only other person I knew that had the same taste in music as I did and really enjoyed live music like I do. So every now and then we'd end up at a concert together. So we're at a concert. It was either Rancid or Less Than Jake. I can't remember because we went to 2 concerts 2 nights in a row back to back. And the pit was getting very rowdy. She's up like front row center against the barricade. And I'm just behind her kind of, fending off the pit, as it were. And I'm just like getting kicked in the head, getting punched, entire body just getting slammed up against me. And Katie we're not dating right now. Katie just grabs my hand, like puts her hand on top of it and makes me grab the barricade and just like holds it there. And that was the moment where I'm like, oh, damn, I think something's still here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like out of a movie, man. Just like world shattering type shit.
I think to me, a break will always be very important to a relationship. And I did one as well at the end of college. I did not want to graduate and continue the same relationship. I thought that was wrong in my head. And I wanted to travel. I wanted to go up to Chicago. She didn't. I wanted to be in Second City, see what we could do, maybe take some improv classes, get into acting after my theater degree and all that. And she made me an elephant, a pink elephant, or a purple elephant, my favorite color, my favorite animal, stuffed animal that she sewed herself and gave to me as I'm about to leave. Oh. And, we pass out on the couch before I wake up, and my entire shirt is just soaked in tears. Like it's heart-wrenching to even remember. But it meant so much to us because we became independent people. We had been dating for 3 years. We had become a team, but a team in college when we didn't understand money or what paying really rent was or any of these sort of facts of life. If we had to have those experiences together, I struggle. Maybe that wouldn't have worked because we would have found one of us to be oppressive. I probably would have found her oppressive because she was always more responsible than me. So I went out into the world, learned that bills and health insurance and all these things really do exist, and it's just not people being lame. You gotta do this stuff. You gotta grocery shop if you want food in the house. Kind of simple stuff. I did my own laundry. I'm not crazy, but that sort of experience without it, I think it's the most important thing. Same thing happened to my sister too. She dated a farmer in high school, went off to college, dated a bunch of guys, came back, married that farmer. But they both became their own people during that time. And I think it's incredible.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. It's awesome to hear those stories. Yeah, because I remember you guys took a break. And I remember when she started getting back into your life. And I'm like, oh, isn't that your girlfriend from college, man? What's going on there? And just like, oh, it's getting rekindled. And before I knew it, planning your wedding in Jacksonville.
Yeah, well, I think there's a defense mechanism that a lot of friends do for you, and it's out of love, where they say, "You're going back to where you were. That's not what you wanted then. What are you doing with yourself?"
Oh yeah, I got a lot of that.
Yeah, and it's great, and it should happen because you need those checks in your life to make sure you're not just falling into comfort because if one foot in front of the other, man, that's how everything's done. And people ask stuff like, would you aim to go into radio? Would you aim to do what you did? I'm like, no. You just kept saying yes, and people be like, hey, you want to do this? And you're like, okay.
Yeah,
sounds fun.
It's an exercise in continuing to say yes, to agree to things. Although I would say the second time Katie and I got into a relationship together, I distinctly remember having a moment thinking about it out loud with a friend, being like, so what are you gonna do? It seems like you and Katie are kind of, something might be there, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm just trying to decide, like, if I pull this trigger, I'm pretty sure we're getting married at some point. Like, I think if we decide to go down this road, I don't see any other outcome.
Yeah, don't go back. Don't do this exercise and then plan that you've just got another one you can go for. Like, right. Here comes trip number 2, hon.
Yeah, and that was an interesting moment of clarity. And once I had that thought, I'm just like, well, what am I waiting for? What are we doing here? I'm pretty sure she's on the same page. I'm pretty sure she's having the same thought of, oh man, if we go down this road, I think it ends in lifetime commitment. That's, I think, when both of us were just like, all right, we're idiots. Why aren't we doing this?
The proposal is basically, we were walking down the street coming back from groceries, and I said, Kristen, you got any New Year's goals? And she said, to get married this year, and grabbed my hand. It's like, that's a goal? And I guess it's about time, isn't it?
Oh man, I wish I could remember that more poignantly, but I know there was mention of, I think it was because we're pretty 21st century in our overall belief system, and I think it was more of just a general like, hey, do you believe in the thought of marriage? and she's like, yeah, and I was like, all right, that's all I had to hear. And,
what's your feeling on visitation and taxation?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, it was. I think it was maybe a little more sterile than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I just expected it not to work out because it's like, oh, we're high school sweethearts, and that thing doesn't work, and none of this works, and so far it's just been working very well.
Yeah, well, you got it right when everyone's compared to them. You break up with them, and then you're like, she's that girl's not Kristen. Well, but this girl, she's not really Kristen either. And then you wake up one day and you're like, you know what the crap? I did it wrong.
Yep.
Get up here, Kristen. Come to Chicago.
Yeah, when Kenny and I started dating again, like all my friends came out of the woodwork, like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank Jesus, you're back together. I'm like, what? Where were you guys when I let this crash and burn? Where were you? Why were you honest with me? No, always a good time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Saw with Katie on Wednesday.
I should think of something, but right now I'm off to go call the rental car company so I can go grocery shopping.
Well, that's good. That's good, sir. Enjoy that.
I will.
And if that isn't, I mean, that's going through this with someone is that it's good to have a partner in these sorts of times.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I'm so glad you're okay, man. That's traumatic.
Me too, man. It was very intense, and at this point all the paperwork's going through process, and we're just like, man, just an inconvenience.
Well, wonderful. Well, this is where we'll wrap it up. Mostly just happy that Kyle and Kristen are alive and well. And everyone enjoy your Valentines if you celebrate it. A pro tip, I think from both of us, is a tip we used to give out back when we had weird episodes of StarCast when people asked for relationship advice. If you're on a budget, just celebrate Valentine's the day after. Candy and flowers will never be more affordable than they are on February 15th.
Too true.
Yeah. So go do that. Or be an old person if you want to, eat on Valentine's. Go really early. Do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But enjoy it, whatever the case is, and keep writing in amovetv@gmail.com, or you can tweet to Kyle and I at Garrett Art or at Kyle Ferguson if you want to ask us a question for Weeksauce. But before we go, Kyle, where can folks find the other things that you do?
You can find me this week. I'll advertise over at youtube.com/Kyle Ferguson. I have started up a Learn to Play series on Monday. So new videos Monday evening on how to play Heroes of the Storm. And then, of course, you can ask me. It's kind of a real-time office hours situation. Live at twitch.tv/Kyle Ferguson, 2 p.m. on Tuesdays. But this week I will not be on my channel on Wednesday because I'm part of the Brawl with the Blue event. I got pros and devs showing off my Ev, and I'm going to be doing some supporting, or I assume tanking, or hey, whatever. I'm going to add a Zarya probably on top of that, because that's nuts with my Ev.
Nice. I'm on Twitter at Garrett Art. All the podcasts I do can be found at amove.tv. I would continue to promote my solo show, The Angry Nerd, with a new title pending, where in now 3 weeks running, I have been talking specific cocktails and how to make them. I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I'm really enjoying all the feedback I'm getting from everyone listening and making these drinks. So go check that out, The Angry Nerd, wherever podcasts can be found. That's going to wrap it up for this week's Weeksauce. Hope we helped you get your Monday off on the right foot. We'll see you next week. Good luck and have fun.
Take care.